Hello everyone, welcome again to the all-new sports show presented by Roger G. Taylor and Associates. I'm Edward Green. My colleague Wes Bradshaw will be joining me at the desk momentarily. We know we've been away for a while, but we are back to tell you basketball season's over. Sorry.
Dogs coming on a blitz, a nice pickup. Green gets rid of it and caught on the deflection. Put 6 on the board, Knight fans. That is a touchdown.
And it is caught by number 20, Malik Williams, and he breaks free. He's going. One man to beat. It's a touchdown.
Hi. He hasn't been here since we painted. So.
Were you on TV?
We were on TV. Live.
Wow. Live. Not plausibly?
No, not even plausibly.
Not taped to live?
Nope. We are actually live.
So if I move my hand like this, it's really happening on their TV screens.
Yes. With like a 3-second delay, but yes.
Oh, so I can't curse.
You still can't.
Still can't curse. All right. Folks, good evening and welcome to the all-new sports show brought to you each and every week by Roger G. Taylor and Associates. I'm Wes Bradshaw. He's Edward Green.
Hi.
Folks, we have not been in the palatial studios here at the power plant.
About 2 months?
It's been about 2 months. We have been finding our way to stale, sweaty gyms. Mm-hmm. Oh, never mind. That's after basketball. We've been finding our way to basketball gymnasiums each and every week to bring you the best in local basketball action. And as Ed told you at the beginning of the show, folks, it's a spoiler. Yeah. Basketball's over. Basketball's over. Came to somewhat of a crashing.
We didn't put our hands up to the sky enough.
No.
On our energy.
No.
I blame us.
If you ended with a whimper instead of a bang.
Yeah, I think actually Desmond, our producer, he put it on the Twitter after the Hunts loss. I think he put it best when he described the Big East as tepid this year. It was a very tepid Big East. Hunt did a fantastic job. Spoiler alert, again, if you haven't heard, they did go to the Eastern Regional Finals for the second straight year.
Sure. This
time could not break through into the championship game. They lost to the number 1 seed from the East, Terry Sanford, 65-52.
Good team.
Really good team, and I believe that score will flatter to deceive a little bit. That's one of those where it extended the lead late on. I think with 3 minutes to go, it was a 3-point ball game.
And of course, we're going to get into that a little more. We are going to recap and round up basketball for the season. Yar, roundup. Mm-hmm. Cowboys.
Yeah, it's Cowboys. It's not Pirates.
All right, Cowboys. So, real quick, let's give a big thanks once again to our key title sponsor, Roger G. Taylor and Associates. Also, folks, scrolling across the bottom of your screen as this show goes along, all our other fantastic sponsors, which we hope that everyone will go out and give your business to each and every week.
Certainly.
I know I do. Whenever I'm in town. Also, folks, we like to take this moment at the beginning of the show to, as we say, put ourselves over. So, Ed, put us over.
My job, everywhere and anywhere.
I can't ever remember.
You can't, even when it's on the bottom of the screen like it is now. Go check out our videos. If you want to see this episode online, you can. Just go to youtube.com/theallnewsportshow.
Please don't click away now, though.
Yes.
Just go back and review.
I'm glad I finally beat this into your head. Don't stop watching the show. No, go watch there. You can subscribe to our channel and get tons of great videos. We did a lot of stuff still during basketball season. A lot of great interviews with the coaches. Our moments of wow. Our Bonzer Plays of the Week, sponsored by Outback Steakhouse.
Wow.
If you guys want to come back on, we'd love to have you. Just some great videos on there, but there's plenty of other ways you can get up with us. On Twitter, we are at All New Sports Show as a collective. He's at Wes Bradshaw 21. I'm at Edward Green. You can get us on Facebook. Just find us All New Sports Show. We're also on Instagram at All New Sports Show, and email us allnewsportshow@gmail.com. And if you want to mail us your letters and parcels and gifts, 1701 Sunset Avenue, Suite 201, Rocky Mount, North Carolina 27804.
Live animals accepted.
No, you after that bad experience you had.
Yeah. You're right.
I
just always hold out hope. And maybe the next time we'll
you'll get a red fox or something.
Oh, that'd be magical. Lost a dog this week at home, so I need to replace with something now.
That's not good.
My wife wants a pig.
That's not
So
good.
baby, you got me.
Speaking of pigs, a very not attractive end to the end of our high school basketball season. Especially for a lot of our teams, we had 18 teams from our area enter the first round of the NCHSAA state playoffs. And after round 1, we were down to 5. A lot of tough matchups. But again, that's, I think, what happens when, as the Big East did this year in boys, they sent all 6 teams in.
Wow.
Now, unfortunately, a team like Nash Central and Southern Nash, because their seed was at that point so low, they were going to get stacked up against the top echelon seeds. And
Like Hunt.
yes, which we were at last week. And of course, doing no favors to the rest of that schedule, as we call it, the March into March, because of all the weather we've had. Teams had to play starting, at least in our area. Some other parts of the state, they were able to get a little bit of a jump. But in our area, first round was on past Saturday, then second round Monday, third round Tuesday, fourth round either Thursday or Friday, and then right into Saturday for the Eastern Finals.
The Death March.
Yes.
That was a rough one, folks.
We were trying to be more politically correct with March into March, but
Sure. No, I was just.
but you're right. It was not.
Tell it how it is.
It was not fun.
Just throw it out there. I'm the politically incorrect one.
It was
on
the
this.
Oregon Trail.
There you go.
Dysentery
All
everywhere.
dysentery and scurvy. Check your teeth. Scurvy.
But I think the most shocking one, I think at least to me, was a team that actually got out of the first round. That was Northern Nash's girls team, undefeated, going into the third round of the state playoffs, gets Rockingham in the third round at number 10 seed, loses at home 51-42.
That's tough. Northern Nash looked like a juggernaut all season. Have been just absolutely dominant since the get-go. Tony Dowdy kind of made a mention that maybe late in the season, Rocky Mount showed some cracks against Northern in that last conference game.
We were actually there too for it.
That's right. We started Yes Chant. We started the Yes movement ourselves. Yes went up in the air. But I disagreed with him, as I didn't see it as really showing cracks. Rocky Mount had a girl who got hot, knocked out a lot of three-pointers, kept them in the ball game. Northern did what they had to do to win at the end. But at that point, you could kind of look at Northern and say, well, you could see fatigue setting in.
Yeah.
But God, he had 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
So, I've heard that excuse come up this week. Fatigue. To me, everyone was in the exact same boat.
Plus, they also didn't have to travel for any of their games.
That's a great
All
point.
3 of their games were at home.
That's a great point. As a high seed, as a high seed and a good seed, and this is for anyone involved this week, I just don't buy it for you.
And if you want to talk about rest, at the end of their first round game against the 31st seed Moorhead, they were up 26-15. At the end of the third quarter, they were up 39 to, I'm going to say, 20.
Exactly. So they were resting starters.
You had a chance to rest.
And that was said in the newspaper that they were resting starters. So don't give me the excuse for being tired
I don't buy that.
or being out of shape because you'd missed practice, because basically everyone was in the same boat.
And more to your point, when you were talking about that Rocky Mount Northern Nash game, you also mentioned it off show one time. You said Rocky Mount played about as good as they possibly could have.
Yeah.
Northern Nash played well below their normal level, and they still won.
Exactly.
Now, obviously, Rockingham County, the number 10 team in the state in 3A, is a better team than Rocky Mount, but I don't think appreciably so. It's not to the point where, Northern Nash still should have won the game.
I believe so. At home, being that high seed, when you have not lost a game all year, when you're undefeated, and Northern's played a good schedule. That's the thing. Yes, their conference schedule, maybe not the most brutal, but I thought Hunt had a good basketball team.
Yes.
Hunt girls were a good team. You played a good schedule leading into it. I really felt you didn't have an excuse. And then to lose by 9 at home, if they'd lost that game 51-50, and they got beat on a buzzer beater, now we're talking. But to really, it was a 9-point game, and they weren't. They were never really within a basket through most of that second half. Yeah, I want my 2 seed over the whole thing. I want them really in that basketball game.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, Northern Nash is unable to get it done this year. Disappointing for Grover Battles. This is a really good team he had.
Yeah, and,
Really
and
good team.
this seems to keep happening, though. I mean, I think they only made it to the Eastern semis last year when they had another really good team. It's beginning to be sort of a bit of an issue with this squad.
Well, you know, for a long time, Jakira Brown was the Achilles heel of Northern Nash. When she was at Rocky Mountain, no matter how good Northern Nash was in the regular season, come playoffs, they would run into Rocky Mountain. Jakira Brown would find a way, you know, with her crew, of course. But Jakira Brown could usually will Rocky Mountain to a win over Northern. That was kind of their tough point. Everybody else, they were fine. I believe there was one season, I believe Jakira Brown's senior year, 2 years ago, Northern Nash lost 4 games the entire season.
They were like,
2 to Rocky Mountain in the regular season.
Yeah.
1 to Rocky Mountain in the conference tournament, and 1 to Rocky Mountain in the third round of the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was the only 4 losses all year were to Rocky Mountain. So, you know, it happens. Grover Battle has a state title on his resume. Happened in 1998. Very good basketball team he had. But these past few years, you're not going to call them disappointing for the Knights because you've got some conference titles, you've got some conference tournament titles, and that's great. That's awesome to have those, you know. Trust me, I never won a conference title myself.
You take the
playing
hardware
football or
when you
anything.
can get it.
Absolutely, you do. But you know, at the end of the day, you're going to kind of look back and say, "Oh, maybe we just felt we were capable of more."
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out for us.
And that's really tough. We had a bunch of other schools that, of course, played in the playoffs. Let's just go back through our 1A. We'll start with 1A boys. Just work our way through here. I believe we only had one team in the 1A East. That was Tarboro. They were the 29th seed. They went to 4th seed Weldon, lost 72-60. So that took care of 1A East. Over in the 2A side, as our graphics now play for no reason. All right, 2A East, we have going on here. We had Beddingfield, of course, and we had Southwest Edgecombe. Beddingfield, the 14th overall seed, played the number 19 seed Green Central. Green Central beat them at Beddingfield 48-35. That was a close seed game. Also, Green Central actually had a better record. Of course, as the state playoffs go sometimes, the way they do the seeding is all the 1 seeds, whoosh. All the second place teams from conferences, whoosh. Third place teams, whoosh. So that's how you can sometimes get lower seeded teams with a better record, and that's
and then now they've gone to actually a seeding process 1 through 32. In the past, it was even more unbelievably difficult to figure out because each year they went on a precedence. There was a precedence by conference. I just remember one year Rocky Mount. Not being great, had won a very mediocre Big East, had 10 losses, and in the sectional final, they hosted a Southern Wayne team that had 1 loss on the season.
Yes.
Rocky Mount had 10, and the home court advantage worked out. Rocky Mount went to the East Regional, and a very good Southern Wayne team left home. But they had to travel to Rocky Mount. 1 loss on the season had to travel to Rocky Mount. So, you know, I feel this is a much better system than what we've had, which I can't always say about the NCHSAA. So. Good job, guys.
Yeah, we're not the most positive voice against.
Great job, fellas.
Take us back to Greenville. You hear about that roof leak at Crown Coliseum the other day?
You gotta love it.
Take us back to Greenville. The other team in the 2A was Southwest Edgecombe. They went to 5th seeded Fairmont in the first round, headed on down to Lumberton. They lost 85-64, but they can hold their heads sort of high because Fairmont made it all the way to the Eastern Regional Finals, where they then lost to Juggernaut Kinston.
Yeah. Kinston can literally play any. Kinston can play any classification in North Carolina and be playing for a state title this week.
Speaking of teams that could do that, I think East Carteret could do that. 1A East Carteret, there are only 2 losses on the year to a team from South Carolina and to a team from Ohio.
You know, a few years ago we saw East Carteret, and
yeah, we did.
No, against them had a very nice record coming in. I believe they were undefeated coming in, and you know, you heard all about them. And then when you saw them, they were good, don't get me wrong, but literally I think their tallest player was about 6'1".
Yeah.
So that, you know, that kind of throws it off. And also when you do have to look at conferences from time to time, East Carteret, nestled right down there at the coast.
Especially in 1A.
Yeah.
4A, that's a different story.
Yeah. You know, that's Wilmingwood down there.
Yeah.
You can't hate on them.
Who calls it that?
Oh, college girls.
3A, don't trust them.
Love gossip.
3A from the East, we had Southern Nash was the 28th seed. They went to Raleigh to take on the 5th seed Cardinal Gibbons, lost 78-52. Then we had all our other teams on the bottom side of the bracket. Northern Nash, again in that 14-19 game, Northern Nash lost at home at the buzzer. Southern Lee beat them 49-48. Could not pull it off there. Hunt, as you saw last week in our game of the week, beat Nash Central 63-45. That was a 6 versus 27 game. Northern Guilford dispatched a Fike at home. Northern Guilford, the 11th seed, Fike the 22nd. That score was 76-68. Fike went out there. And then Rocky Mount, I know we were getting updates during the game. We were doing Hunt Nash Central. We were getting updates, and it went final just after we finished, and you were very distraught. Capstone. They had traveled to Eastern Guilford in a 15-18 matchup, and they lost 78-74. And of course, our other team was Hunt High School, though. They dispatched Nash Central in the first round, as we said, beat Northern Guilford in the second round, 59-44. Went to West Brunswick in the third round, the third overall seed in the 3A East.
This is another one of those coastal.
66-28. They beat them.
What was West Brunswick's overall record? Can we get?
Yeah,
will that pull up for you when you get that?
25-4. So
Okay.
25-3 going into the game.
Okay. It always seems like, the Big East teams always seem to get matched up with a Brunswick County team in about
Yes.
round 2.
Yes.
And it's usually ugly for the Brunswick County teams. It's like, we come up with this beautifully great record. Yeah, now somebody's just going to dominate you.
Yeah.
Hunter, Rocky Mount, or Fight, we're just going to dominate you now. So,
That is special.
that's a way to go out.
Hunt then beat Havelock in the fourth round, 59-53. Actually, a replay of last year's Eastern Regional fourth round when Hunt beat Havelock again. And that was a 6-7 matchup.
Great ball game.
Oh, it was really good. Hunt tried to blow both of those games, if I remember, in the Eastern Regionals last year.
They gave it a chance.
They gave it a chance. They did.
They did.
They pulled through at the end.
Come through, but they tried.
They tried. This year, however, again, the run does end in the regional finals against Terry Sanford, the number 1 overall seed, 65-52. Terry Sanford is going to be playing this Saturday at Carmichael in Raleigh. They will be playing the 5th seed from the West, Ashbrook, who beat Crest in what apparently was an absolute thriller, 47-46.
Anyone who beats Crest is okay by me.
As we move over to the girls, I have nothing against Crest. I'm sure there's something there.
I just never liked Crest.
That's fine. As we go to the 1A East, we did actually have two teams
It's not a good toothpaste.
in this one. We had North Edgecombe and Tarboro. Tarboro actually did get a win in the first round in a 15-18 matchup as they hosted James Keenan. They won that one 52-47. Then they lost at the number 2 Eastern seed Roxborough, 43-33. Our other team was North Edgecombe. That was a 12-21 matchup where they had to go to Plymouth, and they lost 80-38. Yeah, it's a tough ride. In the 2A, the girls for Beddingfield got a win in the first round against Bartlett Yancey in a 12-21 matchup. They won that one 65-41 and then fell on the road at T.W. Andrews 64-55. Southwest Edgecombe played a close one in Clinton in a 20-13 matchup. Clinton won, though, 54-46. We go to 3A here. 5 of our area teams from the 5 of our Big East teams, I should say, made it in 3A. Couldn't quite match the boys in that one, but they did get 5. Rocky Mount, another close loss, also for their girls team. This coming as a 28th seed, going to 5th seeded Corinth Holders, and they lost 46-43. That is really, really tough to swallow. Tough way, two tough ends for Rocky Mount's 2 teams this year.
It was both had close losses in the final.
Hunt played Fike in the Wilson Derby in the first round. It was a 13-20 matchup. Hunt got the win there, 61-46, before losing on the road at Chapel Hill, 56-40 to the 4th overall seed Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill, who will be playing in the Eastern Finals after dispatching Rockingham County, which we'll talk about in a second. Also, Nash Central was a 27 seed. They went on the road to 6th seeded Havelock and lost 59-45 in the first round. And again, as we mentioned, Northern Nash started with a win at home against Moorhead, 60-31. Followed that up with a good win over a 15th ranked Williams side. They won that one 42-36 before again falling in the third round to Rockingham County, 51-42. So that is your playoff recap for this week.
I love it. So basketball is officially over.
It's unfortunate.
Last night, I guess this morning, early morning, however you want to put it, we have sprung forward.
Yes.
We go outside and it's 68
That's very
degrees
nice.
and very sunny, and I sat outside and read some of my book
Oh, that's good.
after taking my sad nap.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Just a gorgeous day, and it's almost like,
Hey, baseball's here.
the gods told us, yes, it's time for baseball. We have kept you inside, having to do basketball, just because, we just want to put this snow and this ice out on you guys.
Remember when we had freezing rain on Thursday?
Big time, man, big time. Now it's baseball season. Basketball's over in the Twin Counties. Baseball is here, or the Tri-Counties. We're a Tri-County show.
That's true.
Baseball is here, folks. And it's going to be, we're going to have some warmth this week, might have some rain issues, but it's here.
Yes, that's the important thing.
There's nothing else to say, it's here.
Warm rain this time.
It is. Folks, that is pretty much your basketball recap and roundup of the year.
We do have one more thing.
Aw, which one?
To Jimmy.
No.
Oh, we're not. Okay, never mind.
No.
Great.
No.
Fantastic. We'll talk to somebody else.
We will, coming up. Josh
Yeah.
Wallfish from the Rocky Mountain Telegram going to be joining us in just a few minutes. But right now, folks, we are going to get ready for a commercial break. And when we come back,
Gird your loins.
the minute that you folks at home have been missing for
two-
so long.
For 2 months.
I mean, if you've totally, if we are your one source,
And
of
we
what
probably
happens,
are.
for most of you, we probably are, is what happens on good European soil when it comes to the world's game.
Yes.
It's time, folks. It's almost time. Almost time. Just one little commercial break, and then it'll be time for your most exciting minute of the week. But that's a tease. That's what we call a tease in the biz, Ed.
Yes. You did, and you handled it like a pro. Congratulations.
Pro tip. Handle it like a pro.
Love them.
There you go. Folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have more of the All New Sports Show, brought to you each and every week by Roger G. Taylor and Associates, right here on WHIG TV.
The new place is perfect, or at least it will be, with a little help from Dex. In the book or at DexKnows.com. Dex can help you get results fast and deliver the best local advice so you can get it done right. Right here, right now.
We should do this more often.
Dex, results for the here and now.
The WHIG TV karaoke show is moving to an all-new night, Tuesdays at 9:30. Catch all your favorite singers from Zaxby's every Tuesday at 9:30 and Saturday at 9:30, only on WHIG TV.
All right, folks, we'll welcome you back now to the All New Sports Show, brought to you each and every week by Roger G. Taylor and Associates. I'm Wes Bradshaw. My colleague is Ed Green.
I'm glad you finally picked up on that.
Folks, it's time. Let it rain down upon you, folks.
Like a fine paste.
It is time for the most exciting minute of your week. It's time for 60 seconds of
Soccer.
The team who came back from the dead.
Fire. All right, are you ready? I'm going to pull up the clock really quick here.
Let me
Get yourself in a good lather.
gird my loins.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
Folks, since the last time we talked, when I was borderline suicidal over Liverpool's season,
Yes.
things have changed. Liverpool unbeaten in 11 Premier League matches. And today we played Blackburn.
Blackburn.
Burn!
Yep.
Burn Black FA Cup quarterfinals, a win sends Liverpool through to Wembley. the reason most Americans still can't get behind soccer.
Yep.
0-0 at the end of time. There will be a replay, but folks, Liverpool surging up the table. 4th place is in sight.
Pitch invasions. Also, we got hashtag Sherwood at Wembley trending on Twitter. That was fun. More importantly, domestically, NMLS season kicked off this week. Did not go into a strike. Had a thriller earlier today. Orlando City FC, New York City FC, the child company of Manchester City FC. They had a scintillating 1-1 draw in Orlando today. Kaká with the equalizer.
Kaká, you say? Mm-hmm. I call Kaká on that.
Former Brazilian great. Now not so much.
Former AC Milan and
won the Champions League all by himself in 2007.
Real Madrid. Oh, against me beloved Liverpool.
Sorry.
Wonderful final.
You remember when Italy had money?
I remember when Kaká was good. About the same time, actually. Actually, about the same time.
As one goes, so goes the other. But someone who's not going to talk about this, but is going to talk to us about the basketball wrap-up we just did. Rocky Mount Telegram sports writer Josh Wallfish joins the show. What's up, Josh?
I'm going to tell you guys.
We're doing fantastic. I'm doing better than Wes.
Long time no talksy.
Yes. Except on Twitter.
I know. Last time we saw each other, Rocky Mount High was absolutely dominating rival Northern Nash, and that's almost a month ago already.
I didn't say it, folks. He said, yes. And we could not find anyone to update Twitter on the Hunt fight score. Yeah. Apparently, we needed the hammer, and the hammer was not coming through. But anyway, Josh, we welcome you back here on the All New Sports Show. We've kind of given everyone a basketball wrap up. Let's talk real quick just about our local teams, especially the ones we had really high hopes for. Let's start at Northern Nash. Mm-hmm. The girls undefeated through the entire season, and I think we were all just shocked to see them lose by 9 at home to Rockingham County. What happened?
What really happened was it was the third game in 4 days for the Knights, and you could sense that they were just a little bit sluggish, and they were just a little bit late on some open threes, and I think more importantly for them, they didn't have the legs under them to hit the simple layups. And as much as Rockingham County tried to give Northern Nash an opportunity to get back into that basketball game, the Knights were just unable to make the simple plays to get back into the game.
How would you categorize the season for the Lady Knights? I mean, they end up 23-1, something like that. 24-1. That one loss, though. I mean, if you are a Lady Knights player, I mean, have you gone home happy from your season, or are you just brutally crushed right now?
I think most of them are brutally crushed. I think you look at a lot of these players came back from last season's team that at least got to Fayetteville. I think if they had gone to Fayetteville and, maybe they lose Eastern Alamance, it's not as bad of a season. Or even if they get to the regional final against Chapel Hill and lose, it's not as bad a season as losing on your home court before you even get to Fayetteville. I think it was crushing for most of the Lady Knights in that regard.
Let's talk about the Gentleman Knights.
Yes.
Because all Knights should be gentlemen. All Knights should be. Henry Drake coming in, taking over an extremely difficult program at the moment. This is Northern Nash, who had not won much of anything really in about a decade. The season got underway, and it was kind of more of the same old. Nothing's changed with the Knights. And then all of a sudden, they upset Wilson Hunt, and they went on a run, saw them finish second in the Big East Conference, lost out in the playoffs. But I think you have just a whole separate feeling on the boys' side of Northern Nash, where even though they didn't have a 500 record, man, this was a successful season for the Boy Knights.
It was in many regards. I think they're still a little bit disappointed. They let that game against Southern Lee get away from them in the first round, but there's no doubt about it. If you and I were sitting here 3 months ago and said that Northern Nash was not only going to host the playoff game, but finish second in the Big East and have an opportunity on the last day of the season to win the conference, I think the three of us would just be laughing hysterically. But that's exactly what happened. You have to give Henry Drake a lot of credit for not only believing in his team, but allowing them to go through the growing pains and not get too frustrated, not get too trigger happy. He understood that it was going to take some time for them to really buy into his system and to commit to what he wanted to do. And when they started doing what he wanted to do, play great defense and execute the simple plan offense, we saw them make that massive run in the Big East, starting with the upset of Hunt, and unfortunately ending with the blowout loss to Rocky Mountain, and then kind of losing that momentum against Southern Lee in the first round. But I was joking with my new colleague Foster Lander, who most of you guys hopefully will meet shortly. As I was joking, I said if we were going to give out a Coach of the Year honor, I think Henry Drake is Coach of the Year almost for all 3 sports seasons because of what he was able to do with the Boyd Knights.
Well, and just when you saw that team, now you saw them obviously more than we did. I mean, they didn't have a big guy to say. You know, they didn't have a slick handling point guard. They did have some shooters,
Yes.
but they just had guys who, you know, busted their tails and just played hard, gritty basketball. And I totally agree. You know, I'm executive decision right now here on the All New Sports Show. That is our All New Sports Show basketball coach of the year, Henry Drake. I don't think you'd have a problem with that.
I don't at all.
You know, with the Knights going forward, I mean, what do you think we're looking at maybe for next season? You probably know this a little better than us. Was this a younger group, or is this a group that, you know, they maybe maxed out on what they were and now they've got to figure out what to do next year?
I think the rules are going to definitely have to change. You know, losing a player like Adam Runner, losing their point guard Marcellus Majors, there are some key players from this year's team that are gone. But you know, returning is Darius Spragley. Returning is a Goody Bullock, who both played exceptional basketball towards the tail end of the season. And so all the seniors, all they kept saying was they wanted this to be the start of a foundation for this program. And I think a lot of the younger players that got an opportunity to be a part of the team and witness what happened, I think they have a little bit of belief now that Northern Nash can compete in the Big East, and the unsuccessful years that have preceded this year are now almost a thing of the past.
Josh, talk a little bit about, you know, the 2 Rocky Mountain teams, the boys and the girls, kind of mirror images of each other. Maybe somewhat disappointing regular seasons, got some low seeds in the playoffs, and then had tough battles while going out in the first round. Both of them very easily could have won their first round playoff matchups. Just talk about the mood at a school that is used to winning and winning a lot in basketball.
Well, I will start with the girls. I think one of the things, talking to Pam Ganey, I think she was just kind of a little bit frustrated with some of the immaturity at times this season. You know, we saw them blow massive fourth quarter leads, you know, throughout the season. That's something just mind-blowing for Rocky Mountain High basketball to blow a 20-point fourth quarter lead. But we saw that happen multiple times this year. They had an opportunity to upset Northern Nash in the season finale, and they let the Knights come right back and take that ball game out from under their noses at home. Just small things that we're not used to seeing from them. But I said this for the most part throughout the season. I felt like the Griffon ladies were maybe a year away, and I think next year they're going to be Big East contenders with Kiana Spivey, with Tamara Harper, with Michelle Ganey. They have all the pieces next year to really give Northern Nash a run for their money once again. As for the guys, it's tough to say. I mean, defensively, they were a mess for a little bit. Obviously, they had no answer for anybody with any sort of size. We saw that. We saw that a little bit in the first meeting against Hunt. We saw that when they played South Central. They're not getting much size next year, and they lose a bunch of shooters. Obviously, mainly Isaiah Alston. So disappointing, I think, for sure. But I think towards the end of the season, we started seeing the Rocky Mountain High team that could have made a run at the Big East title, a team that played good enough defensively and hit enough shots to really make a difference against some quality opposition.
while we're on Nash Central, let's talk the boys real quick. Had a bright start to the season, faltered down the stretch. Obviously, we personally saw that they are a terrible matchup for Wilson Hunt.
Yes, twice.
Twice.
We
That
did.
didn't work out well. But I think Rennie Taylor, I think his team made some forward steps this year. They've got holes they're going to have to fill next year, but I think they got some confidence out of this season.
I think they got confidence that they can compete. Again, the question for them really is who's going to score the basketball. We saw at times that Aaron Spivey and Josh Mullen single-handedly brought the Bulldogs to victory. And that's not going to work most of the time. And obviously with Aaron being gone next season, there's a lot of pressure on Montre Cass. There's a lot of pressure on Josh Mullen to help score. But I think more importantly for them, they need some sort of production in the middle. And we saw the few games that Jerron Mercer-Harris played extraordinarily well. Guess what happened correlated with Nash Central's wins in the Big East? Mm-hmm. When the big guy wasn't playing very well and wasn't rebounding the ball and wasn't being a threat offensively, Nash Central lost. So they need to get some sort of production out of whoever is going to play center for them next year.
All right, folks, so that's a quick little rundown of your three right here at home Nash County Big East teams. Josh, baseball season's here.
Yes.
Looking forward to what is surely going to be another intense Big East race in another sport.
So your new guy, Foster Lander, filed a nice little preview for the season coming up. Northern Nash looks on our end maybe to be the class of the conference.
They were last year.
Oh.
They didn't really lose anybody.
Well, that pitch was great. Let's just hope they learn how to swing the bats a little better because they had some tough hitting. But, Northern Nash looks to be up there. Rocky Mount has question marks. Looks like they have arms. They just got to find a dominant one. Southern, man, you never know about Southern. They don't tell you anything. And Nash Central has some big holes to fill from a year ago. But, man, Josh, this is the time of year you'll enjoy Eastern North Carolina. If it's not raining,
yes,
it should be very nice outside.
That's
key. If it's not raining, it'll be very nice outside. So, man, we hope to see you out at some baseball games. And thank you so much for hopping on with us tonight.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Josh, have a good one, buddy.
All right.
Awesome.
It's Josh Wallfish, Rocky Mountain Telegram correspondent. Big thanks to him. Yes, he's sort of becoming an old man over there at the Rocky Mountain Telegram. Foster Lander, their newest writer at the Telegram. Hopefully we can maybe get him on later in the spring.
Did Andrew Evans leave since our last show? Was that what it was?
I believe so. He's a Golden Domer now.
Yeah.
He wears his collar backwards, as one of my friends' grandfathers would have said. He's now wearing his collar backwards. Yeah, thanks a lot, dude.
We were going to invite you back to our 50th podcast, but not anymore.
You were cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the last thing I want to talk about is Notre Dame football, unless the words massive allegations and scholarship reductions are.
Let's go to another college, though.
You know what? Let's go to college that we enjoy.
Exactly.
That we don't detest and hope have massive scholarship reductions.
Share colors, though, a little bit.
Sort of.
Where's the better? Where's the better?
Much better.
We are going to head into our Battling Bishops Corner segment. Been a busy time for them as spring sports are just getting underway for them. The scoreboard from today, a lot of action today, actually. Softball played a doubleheader. They lost at Averett 6-3 and also lost 8-7. That was an 8-inning affair. Baseball team lost at Piedmont today 14-8. However, the men's and women's tennis team got on the board with wins. The men's tennis team beat Averett 9-0. That's very decisive, and the women's team won 8-1. So two very good ones. Of course, tennis usually strong at Wesleyan. As we go to the calendar right now, telling you what's coming up. Tuesday brings 3 games to Wesleyan, softball being 2 of them. Actually, they will be on the road at Salem for a doubleheader at 2 and 4 o'clock. And baseball will be hosting Emory and Henry. As we like to say, loved him, hated her.
I totally agree. Not a fan of Henry.
3 p.m. though, if you want to go out to Wesleyan, and they're gorgeous baseball facilities there.
Gorge.
Go check it out. Baseball team then will be back in action on Thursday. They'll be hosting Cortland State at 4 p.m. And on Friday, the men's tennis team will be at Maryville for a 1 p.m. match. As we head and take a look at the standings in this edition of Bishop's Corner, we can go to the men's golf team, which just opened up the season. So we don't actually have an updated standing for them yet. They just opened at Echo Farms over in Mars Hill and Wilmington this weekend. They started in the preseason the 8th ranked team in USA South, so they'll be looking to make a move up the boards there. You can go to now the baseball standings. Wesleyan right now 2-10 in conference play in baseball, 2-13 overall. So a bit of a rough go at it right now. They're next to last currently in the standings there. Wesleyan's girls softball, they're 0-2 in conference, 2-4 overall. And that schedule obviously has been shortened a ton because of weather, especially when you look at a team like Averett. They are 12-0-1 overall. So that means they've gotten 13 games in while Wesleyan has gotten 6.
Yeah, give me the top 8 real quick out of what's going on in conference play.
Averett, William Peace, Ferrum, Meredith, and then a logjam in the mid-table, LaGrange, Greensboro, Methodist, and Piedmont, and even Maryville all at 500.
Interesting. And Ed, I said it because I got the call the other day, Ed. Weekend of April 17th, 18th, 19th. Wes Bradshaw will be signing autographs while calling some girls softball at the Rocky Mountain Athletic Complex. USA South Conference Tournament coming up.
Fantastic. Be sure you catch that out next month. Again at Wesleyan College, hosted by Rocky Mount. Wesleyan is not the host.
City of Rocky Mount.
City of Rocky Mount.
City of Rocky Mount.
City of Rocky Mount is host.
Two cuts my check. That's
Yes.
what I'm totally worried about.
Men's tennis is 1-0 in conference play, 2-3 in matches so far this year. And women's tennis is 1-0 overall in conference play, 1-2 overall in all matches this year. So that is your Bishop's Corner update. We hope you enjoyed that. And of course, we kind of just sped right through basketball season with them. So sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
And
We did see John Thompson a few times.
we used to have women's lacrosse. It does not look like we have that anymore, unfortunately. So those are your 5 spring sports for Wesleyan: men's and women's tennis, baseball and softball, and men's golf.
All right,
So-
must be Bishop's Corner. That's your I would call it a spring preview, but hey, the D3s, they get it going so early. They're already halfway through their schedule.
Oh, yeah, it's getting kind of crazy. We also should mention
College, man.
Kenyatta Harris made the 2nd team all-conference for USA South from the women's basketball team. So congratulations to her, having a good season there. That's her. She's a 2-time all-conference selection. She was named Rookie of the Year and a 3rd-team honoree last season.
All right, so
good for
going 3rd team to 2nd team. So
Moving on. Next year,
moving on up
1st team.
to the east. Okay, I'll stop.
We've been sued.
Oh crap! That's right. I can't even sing it.
No.
Sorry. All right, Ed. At this time, we are going to we're gonna go back in time a little bit, folks.
Very back in
If
time.
you don't remember, in 2014,
There was football.
we covered the sport called football, and
Yes.
not the football that we've already spoken of, but football, high school football here in the Nash, Edgecombe, Wilson County areas. It was a fun year, really fun year. Folks, I think we actually announced this when we did our all-new Big 22. Or maybe we didn't.
I don't know.
we
No,
did,
actually, I don't
maybe
think we
we
did.
did, maybe we didn't.
But we did also.
Yeah,
We,
it's been
this
on
was
the-
posted online.
Yeah, this
For
was
those of you
online.
who follow that YouTube
Uh-huh.
link on the bottom there, you've seen
right.
it,
That's
and our
right.
Facebook page.
And folks, what it was, of course, our Coach of the Year award. Our Coach of the Year award is named in honor of Charles Austin.
Yes.
Great friend, great associate, great person who gave us a lot of information on the show for a long time. Of course, Charles passing away a few years ago. The small token we could do. Charles, of course, he loved his coaches. I loved a good coach.
Love,
Charles
love,
Austin.
love coaches, love punters.
Hated Wenger and hated Sir Alex, but that was good of him. Loved kickers, hated punters, like you said. thought kickers were MVPs. But whatever, that's great. But folks, we did take that opportunity to honor him. We have named our Coach of the Year award the Charles Austin Coach of the Year award. Our first 2 recipients were Rocky Mount's Jason Battle and then Rocky Mount Academy's B.W. Holtz.
Yes.
2 selections that would have had Charles about as giddy as he could have possibly been. So this week, folks, we are getting out of Rocky Mount with our Coach of the Year. We are staying in Nash County, though. Folks, your 2014 Charles Austin Memorial Coach of the Year award was this year named as Brian Foster from Southern Nash High School, a team that I think we all picked to finish the lower half of the conference. Instead, they won the whole stinging thing. They just went out and won the conference.
Yes.
So a conference championship. They had some highs to lows on the season. Definitely a big high win that conference title. You had the chance.
I did.
The reason we were holding this, folks, was to try to get the chance to get out and talk to Coach Foster, and you had the chance. And you made sure you took a camera with you.
I did.
Always a good job.
I had batteries in it.
We're on television. Always a good job because it's a long drive out there.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so right now, through the magic of television, we are going to take you to Southern Nash High School as Edward Green sits down with your 2014 Charles Austin Memorial Coach of the Year, Brian Foster.
Hey guys, we are now out here at Southern Nash with head coach Brian Foster. Coach Foster, we'd actually like to award you with the Charles Austin Memorial Head Coach of the Year for the new coverage area. So for that, congratulations on that.
Very much.
And, it was a crazy season for Southern Nash this year. Started with injuries, as it seems to always kind of do for you guys, but you persevered through the non-conference and ended up winning a very tight and competitive Big East. Just talk to us about the journey your team took this year.
It was a little unexpected. Going into the year, I had really no idea what to expect. We lost quite a few starters. I think we lost 19 starters from the year before. Knew we had a couple kids coming back that had missed the whole season because of injuries the year before. But you never know how that's going to gel, how the coaches are going to work out with those. And so overall, it was a good year.
Well, of course, a couple interesting things happened this year. Obviously, one was getting to coach your son, the starting quarterback of the team. Talk about how that was both as a coach and as a dad.
Well, any time you're in a situation where people are going to say negative things about you or your son, that's a tough situation. And I thought he handled it really well and understand that the only thing he can control is doing the best he can and being a good person, just like I can. I try to do things right and try to stand for something, and it makes it a whole lot easier when people question what you do, because you believe in what you do and you believe in how you go about it.
Well, obviously, again, a big year in the Big East for you guys this year, taking home that conference title. It's been hunts for so long, it seems, but you guys got it done this year. How did you guys manage to do it, and what did it feel like to get that accomplishment?
Our goal every year is to win a state championship. So, and I know that gets on people's nerves when I say that, but if you're doing high school sports, that's what your goals should be. And that don't necessarily mean you have to win your conference the way the playoffs are set up, and we were close to that in 2009, losing the Eastern Finals, and had other schools in our conference accomplish the same thing. But for the community and for our school and for our players, winning the conference championship is a big deal. And I'm glad we did it, but we still want the state championship, and that's it's frustrating to have teams that are capable. And I think we've had 3 or 4 that could have, and that, you don't have that every year. And I think with the way things were rolling this year, with the right situations, we could have. So but you got to have some breaks too.
Also, a scary moment, obviously, earlier this year. You had to be taken to the hospital during one of the games. I believe it was the Rocky Mount game.
That's correct.
Just talk about coming back from that and what that kind of experience was like for you.
What scared me more than anything is it's sort of what happened to my brother. And I lost him before the season started, and that was tough. And then just the way everything happened, and it just sort of really got to me. But every test has been good. They've done stress tests. I've had a heart monitor on. I've done everything you can think of, and everything's been good. Arteries. So it's just one of them things where I let things affect me maybe I shouldn't have, and my blood pressure spiked and just fell out. So.
Well, you've come back from that, and you guys had a great season last year. Obviously, a good run in the playoffs, even though I know you want to win that state title. What can we look forward to? Early preview for the Firebirds in 2015.
Once again, we're losing a lot of good kids. But as you build a program, that's going to happen. When you have guys that are sitting as juniors waiting to play their senior year, you're going to lose some good kids as seniors. And once again, we'll lose most of our linemen on both sides of the ball. We'll have some good skilled kids back, and then it's just a matter of staying healthy again and getting those breaks. I think the conference would be real similar, still be competitive. It's just a matter of staying focused, keeping people eligible, keeping people healthy, and trying to gel a little bit better.
Coach Brian Foster, the 2014-2015 winner of the Charles Alston Memorial Coach of the Year in our new coverage area. Congratulations again, and thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you.
All right, and now we're going to send it back to the studio.
A great interview, Ed.
Yes, thank you.
Anything, Ed?
No, I think he was shocked because I actually did not tell him prior to giving him the award that he was going to be the recipient. I was just like, hey, Coach, we're going to do a preview of you guys for next, or just a wrap up and a quick preview. I was like, okay, sure, yeah, come on down. And then right in the interview, you won!
You are a winner!
The winner is you.
Remember that old game? You can be a winner at the game of life.
Yeah.
All right. Big thanks to Brian Foster for taking a few minutes for us. And that's one thing. See, he's a guy that you just call and say, hey, we just want to talk to you. All right, we all come on down. Come on. Very cool about that.
Let me tell you about my latest injury.
So, Coach, how many guys already got out for next season?
3 on an appendectomy alone.
At this point, it's January. How many are you already missing?
Yes.
Are we already at 50% capacity? All right, folks, big thanks. Once again, the Charles Alston Memorial Coach of the Year Award, the now third recipient all time of that award, Brian Foster. Something we hope to keep going on as long as the All New Sports Show goes on, and as long as they want us doing high school football on Friday nights. So basically until they outlaw football in the next 20 years.
Yes.
And then we're stuck with, then you're going to have to be soccer fans on Fridays and every other night of the week.
Yeah.
Either that or we just play year-round baseball, which...
That'd be fun.
For us.
Yeah.
Maybe not for everyone else, but for us.
We'll just start covering the Dominican League.
Oh, and travel ball and travel baseball.
Okay.
Hey, this is Dirtbags Weekly. Oh, boy.
No, that'd be great. What am I talking about? Of course, that'd be
Yay, super. We need to get on payroll. All right, folks, we've got just about 10 minutes left of the show tonight. And as we said, it is baseball season. The sun was out today. The field was cut. The sun was out.
Nice breeze in the air.
Sun came out to play. So we went out to play, folks. It is baseball. So we're going to talk a little baseball. We will start on the fields of Pine Top 3. Yesterday, I drafted my 10U team. Okay. Let's see, highlight of that for me. So
Good.
The highlight was the draft, and now I have to coach these kids. So.
No, but things are going much better in other parts of the world in terms of baseball. College baseball, of course, well underway. We talked about what's going on at Wesleyan right now.
That's right.
And their team playing. Of course, college baseball going on everywhere, though. Just for me, weather still wreaking havoc on other teams, though, including the University of Virginia, which has still actually not played a home game this year. In 13 games, 0 at home. They're recently actually were just in Cary this weekend to play the Pittsburgh Panthers to open up ACC play because they can't get on their own field.
Cary, Charlottesville, it's about the same place.
Oh, it's basically the exact same thing. So, but it's conference play now in full swing in the ACC. So college baseball getting really started there. Very enjoyable.
I don't know how about. I was told I know Benton Moss pitched today for Carolina.
I can look that up real quick.
You can check that out. So let me give you an update. It has been for our good, great, amazing friend of the show, baseball, Britt Johnson.
Believe in the Bearcats.
The struggle is real this year for the Bearcats. It has not been quite the follow-up season the Lander Bearcats were hoping for a year ago.
Everyone put your hands to the sky and give Lander your energy.
Give baseball Britt some love, folks. They got swept this weekend by Armstrong Atlantic. And at the moment, a Lander team preseason number 3 in the country. They are sitting at 9-11 overall, 3-9 in Peach Belt Conference play. Woo, it is definitely time to sound the alarm and call Kenny Loggins because Lander is
danger zone.
Definitely danger zone.
Burn.
They have hit the danger zone, folks, and it is not going to get any easier for them. That is a brutal conference. But for the Bearcats, they still have about a month and a half to try to get it turned around. And if we believe in anyone, Ed, last year, Ed, we believed in 2 things. One, we believed in the Shield. On June 2nd, they broke up.
Yes.
But yeah, we believed in the Bearcats.
We did.
This was the symbol of excellence for the Bearcats.
I'm trying to look that up. Benton Moss looks like he pitched on Friday in an 8-1 win for North Carolina.
Okay.
Oh, no, actually he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't pitch at all this weekend.
I thought he pitched today.
I will check it again.
Could have sworn Richard Sarmiento said he was going to be pitching today. I hope not if they open at the Tar Heels 9-2.
No, he did not.
Okay.
He was wrong. He had bad information. AJ Boguki. So...
All right, Sarmiento, godfather of the All New Sports Show. Awkward.
Yeah. So here's your Benton Moss update. He didn't pitch against Duke. Ever.
Maybe he should have.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
He probably should have.
Folks, with that, pitchers and catchers have reported and spring training games are underway.
Yes.
The Red Sox have signed Yohan Moncada, so we're going to win 12 World Series in the next 11 years.
It's true.
So we're going to win more World Series that are physically possible to win because we've signed the greatest Cuban prospect of all time for $60 million for a 19-year-old.
He's going to be really, really good.
Let's hope he is. Taking a look around Major League Baseball, folks, some stories. You got some good stories. Josh Hamilton apparently thought he was in the NFL for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Hate to hear that about Josh Hamilton. Suspended, I believe, indefinitely now from the league. Has had a relapse into his drug problems. Really sad thing. Saw play of him in high school. Great ball player. Always sad when you get a guy that good who just has his demons. Yeah. And the demons have kind of held him out this year. So
we can give you a Ben Moss update. 3 games this year, he's 2-0 with a 2.30 ERA. Has a tidy strikeout to walk ratio of, I'm going to call it, well, I can't do that. It doesn't reduce properly. But he has 26 strikeouts to 3 walks.
That's solid, folks.
If he can get 3 straight strikeouts without allowing a walk, it will be a 9-1.
That's good.
Or no, 13-1. Excuse me.
Yeah, you do the math. I don't know.
I can't. I don't know math.
So if he gets one more, then it would be 12-1.
No.
27-3.
One more. It will be one more. It'll be 9-1.
9-1. Yeah, I guess you're right.
One more will be 9-1.
I don't know where we are right now. My math teachers from high school are cringing right now as I try to do math on the air. You didn't do your job, people. And now look at me.
Unfortunately, again, it is fortunate that he did not actually pitch this weekend because Carolina did not actually have that great of a weekend against Duke. But we hope to see him back on the mound. Of course, I almost want to say maybe he's a little hurt.
A little hurty?
Mm-hmm. He's dealing with a forearm issue for UNC, scheduled to pitch next against Pitt.
Okay.
They'll monitor it this week. So I guess maybe he was going to pitch.
Maybe that was it. Maybe Sarmiento was given just half bad information. Mm-hmm. So he's an insider, though, so I trust everything he says. Explicitly trusted.
That's your call.
Taking a look around the Major League Baseball landscape, it's going to be, I think it's just going to be a really fun year in Major League Baseball. The introduction of the second wild card slot has just, much like the wild card, it's changed everything.
Yes, it really has, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
You get a race to the wire.
Yeah, it's drama throughout the season. Getting that going for that 5th spot, more teams in it. It's really good, and I think that this is maybe the perfect number. I think 5 is good for each league. I think we're done. I don't want to go to 6 like the NFL, so I think we're good here.
I'm down.
Yeah. So I think we're good here.
We're good here?
We're good here.
Okay, real quick, World Series pick, go.
Boston.
Mike Ditka.
Anyway, that's going to do it for us here tonight on the All New Sports Show. Remember, you can check us out on Twitter at All New Sports Show, or at Wes Bradshaw21, at Edward Green. Go to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, you can catch us online all the time. This episode will be up later this week. You can also catch, of course, the podcast. Go to podbean.com or go to ngscsports.com where our show is syndicated.
That's right, folks. Syndicated stars right here.
It's true.
Stars. Cash is rolling in.
Stage and screen. So that's going to do it, though.
That's going to do it, folks. All right, we've filled an hour of your time here.
Hopefully baseball next week in this slot.
That's right, folks. Got a couple games that we're looking at, hoping to do. If not, we'll be back. Just have to find something to talk about. But we can and we will, and we do it each and every week for you, our adoring public at home. Thank you so much for supporting us here on the All New Sports Show and as all of our online endeavors.
And thanks to our sponsors tonight who also
Absolutely. Those sponsors you saw at the bottom of the screen all night, big thanks to those guys. Big thanks, as always, to Roger G. Taylor and Associates, your title sponsor here on the All New Sports Show. So, for Desmond McManus, for one-name producer Lee, he's Brazilian, or maybe not, but he is one-name producer Lee. He's Ed Green. I'm Wes Bradshaw. He's Reggie the Raven. We'll see you next week here on the All New Sports Show on WHIG TV.
There it is. Well done.
Oh, I might need Tommy John after that one.